Welcome everybody to the BIDE podcast, the podcast of the Barcelona International Dance Exchange. Today in our episode number 116, we have as a guest Silke Z. Silke, welcome, and it's a pleasure to have you here.
Yes, thank you very much. It's a pleasure for me to participate in this episode.
It's fantastic. So we made it.
Yes.
So the first thing that we want to ask you is from where you're sharing this conversation with us. In what part of the globe you are right now?
Well, at the moment, I'm in Vilnius, Lithuania. We are having an opening festival here. It's called Dance All In, which we are showing in 3 countries. So the opening is here in Lithuania, in Vilnius, for the next 5 days.
Great. And the second question is something that we always ask you, our guest. We tend to define ourselves through the things we do. And in BIDE, we like to ask about the person, because we consider that because we are, what we are is what we do, not all the way around.
Yes.
So if you can share with us, it's not about definition, it's more about description maybe, how you describe yourself, who is Silke in this 2025 that is running?
Yes, that's a nice question. Yes. Well, in 2025, Silke is, facing a lot of work in that sense that we are making some small duets and producing and touring in this year a lot. But Silke is also running a venue and facing the challenge to build a new space from scratch, like a new theater, actually, in Cologne, in my hometown. So that's my main topics. And other than that, next to the work, I have a life. And I enjoy very much seeing my kids being young adults now already, and my son going into sound design, working together with him. I enjoy that very much. And my daughter, going for more politics and being very engaged in the topics of the world. So enjoying a lot being a mom, and having other family members with fur. So animals. We have a cat, a dog, and a horse. So
Okay,
keeps
it's a
me
big
quite
family.
busy. It's a big family. Keeps me quite busy, and it's very joyful most of the time. Yes.
And we know each other, so if you want to go further between these, let's say, personal and professional life, what do you
Yeah.
think is that you are bringing to the performing arts ecosystem? You are based in Cologne, but we travel all around. And when we met last year, we discovered, or we just realized that we was crossing each other all the time the last maybe 20 years,
Yes.
with
Yes.
all these, oh, wow, you was in Belgium, I was there, but like 1 month later, and I was in Portugal, but 1 month early, so
Yeah.
so if you can share with us, beside your amazing energy, what do you think that is your I don't know, your taste, your spice that the art ecosystem, in this case in Cologne and abroad, you are bringing to?
Yeah. I think it was actually really, really nice how we met at the dance fair in Palma de Mallorca, and clicking and finding out how much we have in common. And I guess the dance ecosystem is a bubble somehow, and we do cross each other, and we do work on similar topics without knowing sometimes from each other, but then we get chances to meet and exchange like now. So I think I'm very, very interested in now after making my work for 25 years, I get very, very inspired sharing artistic methods with different communities. So not only with professional dancers or not only working for stage, but also, inventing different kinds of laboratories for different kinds of groups. Especially also looking at the aging body, since I'm aging now. Well, we are all aging, but it becomes a topic somehow to look into, how can I distribute my artistic methods that I'm developing, making dance pieces, making work,
Mm,
and looking for um, for a diverse context. And I'm finding that very thrilling and challenging and motivating to see how the dance field and how much we learn throughout the years that we can share, that we can distribute to other arts fields, but also to other contexts in the world.
mm.
Yeah. So
And
this is what, a little bit, somewhat, I would call it a mission or obsession, maybe at the
yeah.
moment, to really look more deep for exchange and connection in the bubble,
Mm,
and but in order to pop the bubble, like to come a little bit more out of this very strong dance bubble, because it is a small club of people.
mm,
I would still call it quite exclusive from my perspective. And I would like to pop the bubble, make my homework as an artist, and invite more people to participate in this beautiful art.
mm.
Um, in this beautiful moving art, dance art. Yeah.
Okay. And I like the image of kicking the bubble,
Mhm.
because also brings the idea of the joy and the play with each other, no? So
Yeah.
um, you have also I mean, your reality is about, exchanging with a lot of different environments, like now, that you are there with all these people. um um how also this because sometimes, the people tend to think about the connection exchange because we have the need to, but sometimes it's because the curiosity, and I think we resonate in this curiosity with each other. How this for example, this network that you bring with these studios around Europe, born, and
Mhm.
what do you think that all this bubble, when you kick the bubble and the bubble is coming back to you, is bringing back, so to speak,
Yeah. So, I mean, the context, I'm in Vilnius, in Lithuania at the moment,
Mm,
is that we as a network called Studio Trade,
mm,
um, we managed to launch this festival, which will happen in these three countries, Lithuania, Spain, and Germany, in the next 3 months. So, but maybe I give you a little bit of insight about the
please.
network,
Yes.
because it exists now since 2010. So we are, facing our 15th anniversary soon. And in 2010, I had the idea with my colleague, Caroline Simon,
Mm,
uh, to 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 share resources with other artists, because we were thinking that we need to get more independent from conservative funding systems, that we
mm,
have to look for alternative funding systems, that we have actually a lot to share if we put it all in on one table, So at the dance fair, at the International Dance Fair in 2010, we made an open call, and we invited everybody from the international dance scene to come to a meeting where that we were hosting, to present the idea of a network that would be based not on money, but on exchanging resources. And oops, we had 70 people, organizations, companies at the table from all over the world, and all continents. And we were a little bit overwhelmed with that. So we thought, oh God, how to manage that, you know. So we reduced it a little bit, and we founded the network then with 7 institutions and artists. So it's an artist-led network, very important to us. That and we run it without money since about 15 years now. And it's very based on the philosophy is based on trust, really, on generosity, on believing that art is important to distribute in this world. And we put all our resources on the table, and we realized together the 7 have a lot to share and to offer to each other, but also to other artists who want to use the network, for example, a residency, or for a lecture talk, or for whatever they need as an artist. And the other very basic belief that we have as a group, as a network, with amongst our partners, is that we want to offer tailor-made residencies or tailor-made support for the artists. So a real alternative to money. Yet you need to fly or you need to travel. However, best you don't fly, but you need to travel, etc. You need to sleep somewhere. You need to eat. So we kept it quite simple, and we were moving lots of artists around in the last 15 years with this philosophy behind. And now we grew. We are now 13 partners, and we could still grow very fast, but we do it. We keep it slow because we need to keep it manageable. We are reaching the point where we need to become more visible, where we realize, okay, a little bit of money would be good for like overhead costs, websites, etc.
Yeah.
But and we are working on this now. But and it's we invented, next to the residencies, the network invented some platforms, like artistic platforms, where we also show some results in the countries. So, for example, at the Festival de Danse in Cannes, we present our partner from Nice presents every 2 years some showcases from artists who were benefiting from the network. And myself, I do this platform every 2 years in Cologne, in Germany, called Sharing Across Borders, where we also support young artists and try to network and bring them into the network and bring them into international collaborations and make connections. So each artistic platform has a slightly different focus. And we are really aiming to continue this work and to open more and more to different communities and different age groups also. So, for example, the festival here in Vilnius right now is also hosting kids shows in dance from Portugal and from Spain. So this afternoon there is a kids show, and then in the evening we have urban dance show. So very wide open. Let's call it wide open, the network. That's a little bit our history, and the future vision is to expand without losing the philosophy, without losing the trust and the generosity and the physicality. Like it's really it's really based on moving together, which I think makes us where we have a great link. Your organization and our organization have a great connection there, because we are all active, we are all moving, we are all not just around the world, but I mean with our bodies. So that's also a very important basis for us here. Yeah,
Yeah.
whatever age we are.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, yeah,
And yeah, talking about the about the age,
yeah.
but was amazing. You know, I mean, I really encourage the people who are listening to this podcast to go and find all the things that this network is doing, because it's amazing, and
Mm,
also it's really generous, and it's not something that we need to give it for granted, especially in the times that we are living right now, where
yeah.
generosity is quite not the usual path, especially
No,
in performing
no.
arts. And
Yeah.
you know, if I try to go back to the, let's say, the Silke bubble, yeah. Uh, what you are questioning to yourself in this point, you know, where you did so much things. Of course, you make a family, not just with humans. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
uh, it's one of a few questions that are nowadays resonate with you, and in your, let's say, in your inner soul.
Mm. Mm. Well, one question that is with this art form specifically that is driving me is really like what is left, you know? I mean, what are we, what kind of traces are we leaving
Mm,
in the society? Because we are not painters, don't hang a picture on the wall. Sometimes we publish books, and that's very, very satisfying to hold something material in your hands as a result of your work. And so, what remains? What is left? How can we pass this philosophies and this passion on to the younger generations, and how can we encourage people in these times, really political terrible times?
mm,
How can we encourage people to continue to, or to start,
mm,
making art and being loud and being not being, as we say in German, I don't know if it works in English, but to not be comfortable, to make
mm,
some parts of society not to not comfort them, but to mirror what's going on, and to
mm,
ask questions that are not comfortable. Maybe how can we how can we continue doing this, and how can others start doing this and have the support they need to do that,
mm,
emotional support, family support, but also support from the arts fields, maybe mentors, or I don't know. So yeah, where is all of that going in the context of our world right now is a big question for me.
mm,
And at the same time, it makes me really eager to do even more,
mm,
not less, but to work even a bit harder, as a counterbalance to the development in the world,
mm,
to really manifest, hey, bodies matter,
mm,
and bodies and movement and dance is a game changer, can be a game changer, can make people or bring people into their feelings, and maybe this is a bit far, maybe as a theory or as a hypothesis, maybe it's like
mm,
maybe people have lost a little bit the connection to their own physicality and bodies
mm,
sometimes, or more and more. I don't know. I'm curious about that, and
mm,
if that, bringing that back to the people may change really things in the world. Sometimes I wish some politicians would just come to our labs and explore their movements and feelings, and then send them out again to their work and see what they would do then. That's my dream. That's my future dream. I take the government and work with them moving,
yeah,
just
yeah,
to connect them to the basic cellular breathing, really, and what it means to be a
mm,
human being.
Yes.
and how much we need each other in the world, and the borders are just, human made. And
Mm-hmm.
if you if you think of the body and the motion as being, if you move, you change your environment, you
Yeah.
change the particles in the air around you. Everybody can see when the sun, like now the sun is really bright in Lithuania and it shines in my window, and when I move my hand I see the particles,
Mm.
reacting to my movement in the
Yeah.
sun.
Yeah.
So, and so it does matter that our movements matter, and they have an impact.
Yes.
And I think that would be so great to, well, acknowledge and bring it to the world, bring it to different communities, and manifest that we
Mm.
don't lose that. We have a body, you
Mm.
know, and we shouldn't lose that. Yeah, I think this is very, very much what I'm dealing with, and I'm interested in, like the effects of our motion in the world, and yeah, and what we can change.
Yeah,
Mm.
absolutely agree. And and also shows your, so to speak, relentless energy, so if one of my big friends from Germany, Mr. Jörg Hassmann, always told me that I'm Mr. Empujar, is pushing, empujar in Spanish. I think
Uh-huh.
you are my my other version. You are Miss Empujar, so
Yes.
yeah, so it's great to know that we are not alone, so,
Yes, that's a very nice. That's a nice image to have, like accomplishing part somewhere, And I am with a lot of pushers, Mrs. and Misters, and everything in
yeah,
between.
and yes,
Here
absolutely.
right now, they're all really, like my colleague from Lisbon,
Mm,
uh, from the company Voart Sim. They work inclusive. Also, they're here with a big inclusive company, in the festival, and amazing how I see it in other people, how much energy they bring
yeah.
into this world, and how generous that is. We could all, I mean, yeah, take an example, or I noticed this around myself, how much energy people have and give into this, even more now in these
Mm,
days,
mm,
exactly.
mm.
And to not give up, and to not be intimidated by, cuts in cultural funding. So what, this happened also 20 years ago or 15 years ago, and to kind of try to breathe, remember your cellular breathing, and just try to relax into the situation and look for alternatives.
Mm.
And sometimes crisis, as we know from personal lives also, sometimes crisis will improve something, in the future.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yes.
it allows us to look, it forces us, not allows us, it forces us for alternative solutions. And I think that artists are gathering and very actively looking for these alternative solutions
Mm.
is a very, very important movement. Very important movement to get closer together and network even more, you know. Um, because yeah, to do it all by yourself and alone, nah. It's not my cookies.
Mm, mm,
So
mm,
I like your image a lot, that we have, like, somewhere in the world we have someone who accomplishes our energy, and
mm, mm, mm.
if we do it, put it together, we can, start some rockets somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
You have many
yeah,
nemesis around, so yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. And and
Yes.
uh, and we are talking about, all the things that we are dealing nowadays. That is not as you are right. It's not the first time that this type of
Yeah,
crisis happens. The crisis happen all the time.
yeah.
But also, do you have a moment that say, maybe I want to quit,
Oh,
or maybe you say, I don't want to drive anymore, or for a while this car, it's possible to go to the back seat and somebody else
yeah,
drives. So
yeah.
this crossed through your mind some days or sometimes.
Yes. I mean, yes, yes. Of course, sometimes I'm drained and I'm like, I'm just, yeah, I don't get frustrated or bitter, but I get sometimes so tired of this kind of fighting.
Mm.
Um, and then yes, I would love to crawl to the back seat and let somebody else drive the car. And then I think, yeah, it's also that's why then, but then my system says, yeah, but that's why we have to, train young people and put them in our boat and get in touch, with this younger scene and provide some formats for them and get to know each other and da 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 and make them connect. So back into work. So as soon as I'm on the back seat, I'm like, uh, wait, I want to still do that.
Yeah.
So I don't stay in the back seat very long, but yes, I do have these moments of tiredness. Let's call it tiredness, because my colleague and I, who work since 24 years together, Caroline Simon, I mentioned her. We run the venue in Cologne. She was dancing in more than 40 productions of my company. So we work really, really closely, and we kind of have a saying or some kind of agreement that whenever we find each other becoming bitter, when people can get really bitter from frustration. So if we find each other becoming bitter, we would quit. We would tell each other, now you're just like bitter. And because one thing is very clear, we won't get rich with this kind of work. Yeah. So we won't. So the work should be enjoyable. It should be nice to go to work. It should be fun to work together. Because then it's okay. It's a replacement for the money maybe that is missing. So,
Mhm.
but if the work doesn't bring any of that joy anymore, and you don't get any money, then
Mm.
it's time to quit. I think then it would be time to quit. So we are always evaluating, how are we? How do we feel? Are we having enough joy? you know, um, and yes, surviving is nice, also financially. But it's not the only thing, because I
Mm.
see other people working in other fields, or they don't enjoy their work, but they have enough money. They make enough money to then enjoy something else, with that. So I think we have to balance our energy with that. So
Mm.
working with friends, exchanging with you right now, that's joy. It's not work necessarily. Of course it's time, but it's joyful time.
Yeah.
So that's the approach somehow to the moments of tiredness,
Mhm.
checking.
Okay.
And yes, and aging, energy becomes an issue. And, yeah, maybe, eventually to pass it on, to pass the work on,
Mm.
and maybe manifest in a theater building, or, just try see what is left. We'll
Mm.
find out.
Yeah.
There's
Hopefully.
there's not really a master plan, but we'll find out what is left, and
Yeah.
until then we continue. Yeah. And meeting always new people, like us meeting last year, eating paella on the street, in this that no, very nicely organized dance fair in Palma de Mallorca. Oh, what a gift. It's just, there's so many gifts in our
Yeah.
work that are maybe more hidden, but you have to, I start to realize, wow, that's really a present, to meet
Mhm.
all these amazing people around
Mhm.
the world
Yeah.
and build small families everywhere. It's
Yeah.
you know, like you can call it almost like that,
Yeah. Yeah.
having
Absolutely.
having small soulmate families, which
Mhm.
is which is a beautiful feeling of support. Yeah, a general beautiful feeling of support, I think. Yeah.
So it's amazing to hear you. And to be going to the end of this amazing sharing and talking, we have let's say a ritual since a few years ago that each interviewer left a question for the next one without knowing who will be. You have a question from somebody who was before in our podcast. So, what do you like to ask to the next question? To the next, sorry, to the next guest.
To the next guest. Yeah, that's a. Let me think. What can I ask you? Well, I guess my question would be, how do you keep your spirits up to continue what you're doing or to develop what you're doing, spread what you're doing, whatever mission you are on in this world, in our fields? How do you keep your spirit up? What are your tools, you
Mm.
know? So maybe I'm interested in how other artists keep their energies up. And yeah, I think that would be my question. What are your tools to keep your spirit up in these times, especially?
Great. And you have a question from Batarita, an amazing choreographer and director from of the Body Radical Festival in Hungary. And she asks you, which is the most important experience? What is changing your life?
Most important experience. You mean in the working field,
Whatever
or in
you, if you can answer this in 1 minute, what is the first thing
okay,
that
I think in my life it is really having kids, most important and life-changing experience, having two kids. And in my work life, I think it was taking my first contact improvisation class when I was 20. It was life-changing for me,
Mm,
to experience that physicality and that community.
mm,
Yeah, it's really life-changing. Hmm.
great. And how be the tagline for you of this podcast of this conversation? What be the
The
title?
the title, okay, of this our conversation now, huh?
Yes, yes.
Mhm. Hmm. Soulmates. I'm coming back to you like that. Yeah,
I
yeah, like
like it.
well, soulmates. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That would
Well,
be what.
Silke, thank you so much for give us a little moment of your busy agenda to share a bit of your amazing life and all the constellations and networks that you are involved and pushing and driving, and hope to see you soon.
Yes, I hope we see each other very soon. And thank you for having me, and thank you for allowing me to share these thoughts. Yes,
You are more
very,
than welcome.
very good idea. The podcasts. I like that format also. Yeah,
Thank you
thank
so
you.
much to you. So this was the episode number 116 of our P podcast, and see you in the next one. Bye bye.
Yes. Bye bye. Thank you. Bye.